What's going on, people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mordzs, and look, today we've got another video. Look, it's a Carabao Cup semi-final. Yeah, it's unfortunate United couldn't make it. So, but it is what it is. We almost beat Spurs, but I mean that game was the most like ping pong kind of game ever. Like, you knew both teams were going to score, but you also knew both teams were going to concede. And that's how you ended up with 7 goals in the game. But it is what it is. Look, today Arsenal are playing Newcastle, and tomorrow Liverpool are playing Spurs. Two very interesting games. Two interesting games because you've got four teams who, I mean, actually, I'm lying. I'm going to say four teams that are probably informed. Spurs are not informed at all. You know, Spurs are probably easily the worst team out of the four. But you got three teams out of them who are probably informed teams, and arguably Liverpool best team in the league, arguably the best team in the world, you could say, when you look at the Champions League run as well. You got Arsenal, who are unbeaten in, I think, the last 13 games. I think they've not lost a game since November, like early November. Insane record. And Newcastle, they've won their last 5 games. So look, three very informed teams, and then you've got Spurs, who are, I think, 1 point above United. So look, if you're 1 point above United, that should kind of say how well that season's gone. But before I get into this video and I talk about my actual predictions, like, comment, subscribe. So obviously Arsenal are playing Newcastle today, so I'm going to talk about that game first. Look, Arsenal's record this season it's interesting because people make it sound like, and I'm going from a non-biased point of view, because if I was going from my United biased point of view, I'll be like, yeah, Arsenal are dead, they're not going to win, da. But the reality is, look, their form, like I said before, they're unbeaten in the last 13 games. Now, if we're comparing them to last season and the season before that, in terms of the quality of Arsenal, in that performance-wise, I don't think they are, let me not say anywhere near, but they're definitely not at that level. Now, there are excuses you can bring in, injuries, Saka's out for a number of weeks, Odegaard was out for 2 months, they've had a few illnesses recently. I think, who got ill now? I think Odegaard got ill again, Declan Rice got ill, somebody else got ill as well. Like, they've had a whole bunch of problems throughout the team. Timber was suspended for a bit. So yeah, they've had a few problems with certain players in the team, certain key players in their team, but they've still managed to bring out results, And I made a video. Well, I'm about to record a video after this for tomorrow, maybe, about what I've learned from each team in the Premier League so far this season. And the thing I was going to say about Arsenal was, I don't think they're in a title race. I know it sounds like, why? What? How can they not be in a title race? From looking at how Arsenal are playing this season compared to last season, they are, first of all, like I said, performance-wise, they're not as good. But also, there's too many factors to take away from them winning the Premier League compared to Liverpool. Compared to other teams, yeah, you can say that they're still better than I don't know, a City are this season, or who else is up there? Chelsea. But when I compare them to Liverpool, the experience isn't there. The mentality to go and win certain games isn't there. There's a lot of games that Arsenal have drawn this season, which they probably should have won. I think they've drawn the most games out of the top 8. I think they've drawn 7 games or something in the Premier League. Those draws are what's going to win you a title. As in, if you turn those draws into wins, that's what's going to win you a title. The game last week against Brighton, it was a 1-1 draw. And Brighton probably, should have got sorted out of the game. But a team that's going to win the title would have taken a win out of that game. Even if it's a scrappy 1-0 win or a scrappy 2-1 win, you're taking those results because they're the results that's going to close the gap between whoever's, first or second. And in the long run, you're going to need those extra 2-3 points to win you the title. This year, if Arsenal win the title, it's going to be very close. It's going to be like I said, 2-3 points between them and probably Liverpool. Those 7 draws would have, been crucial to them winning the title. And that's why I feel like mentally, like it's a mentality thing to go and get those wins. And I've seen Liverpool do it in the past. That's why I feel like Liverpool are going to do it again, because they've still got a lot of players in that team. Trent, Robertson, Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson. They've still got quite a few players who were in that team that won the league. Yeah, I feel like that's why I just feel like, I don't know, Arsenal are not in that same mode that Liverpool are in to go and take it. But that's irrelevant for today. I just feel like Arsenal performance-wise are just not as good as it was last season. Whereas Newcastle, what I was gonna say for them is, I don't think they're that far away from being title contenders. And I'm talking about the next 3 years. Give them 3 seasons. Whether it's Eddie Howe, whether it's not Eddie Howe, that's another conversation. But the way their team is building up, and the ages of some of the players in the team as well, they're not, competing with old players. They've got some young talent in there. I think Newcastle are going to be doing something very, very, very soon. So this matchup is interesting because I want to see who really has that mentality, who really is going to go out today and think, you know what, I need to win a trophy. Arteta you're 5 years in now, and you've only won one little scrappy little FA Cup trophy in your first year, where you only have to win like 3 games and you win the trophy. That to me don't really count. 5 years in now, we're gonna need some silverware from you, Arteta. And you look at Eddie Howe. I mean, Newcastle haven't won a trophy in a very long time. I know obviously they won the championship in 2017 or 2018, around that time, but they haven't won a trophy in a while. A very, very, very long time actually. So this is gonna be interesting. I want to see who's gonna really come out top. It could potentially be a mentality thing. I know there's 2 legs, so even if Newcastle were to lose today at Emirates, they can go out. They can go. I think the next game's in a month, so they've got a bit of time to prepare for the second leg, and they can go and get a result there. But my prediction for this game is, it's at the Emirates, so they've got that advantage. Arsenal do have a bit of an advantage there. I'm gonna go for a 1-1, a 1-1 draw. Yeah, I'm going for one. I don't think Arsenal are going to lose. I definitely don't think Arsenal are going to lose, but Newcastle are just so dangerous. And even defensively, I think they've got Sven Botman. I think he's come back from injury. He's going to have to come back from injury because I'm pretty sure I think one of the defenders is injured. I can't remember who. One of the defenders, either injured or suspended, he can't play. I mean, key man for that Newcastle team, obviously, Alexander Isak. I know Arsenal, their dream signing is to bring Isak to Arsenal. But like I said before, if I'm Isak, first of all, they got Saudi owners. Like, Saudi owners ain't about to just give up an asset like Isak for nothing less than 120 million. Nothing less than 120 million. So unless Arsenal are willing to break the bag for that, yeah, they're not going to get him. But look, if I'm Isak, I'm looking at Newcastle right now. Great run of form. Could easily finish in the top 4 this season. Easily. I'm looking at Arsenal. Let me not say they're on the decline, but they're definitely not as good as they was last season. They're still title contending team. Still probably the second best team in the league. Maybe second, third. You never know what City are going to do next season, or Chelsea next season. I'm not leaving. If I'm Isak, I'm not leaving. And even like focusing on this game, he's probably the best player on the pitch. Let's be honest. I'm looking at everybody else in the pitch. The best player for Newcastle, Arsenal don't have Saka, and Odegaard could be a doubt. He's probably the best player on that pitch. So I guess all the money, all the balls are in his court. He can kind of do what he wants. But yeah, he is the best talent and probably the biggest threat for both teams. Arsenal, their biggest threat this game, well, like I said, Saka, Odegaard, they're both probably both not in the team. If Odegaard is playing, then obviously Odegaard will be the biggest threat. I do think he's been a bit slow to come back to his normal self since he's come back from that injury. He will eventually pick up form and he will get back to his normal self, but I do think he has been a bit slow coming back from injury. But I'm trying to think who would be their main threat right now. I can't say Martinelli. I can't say Trossard. Gabriel Jesus, to me, he's such an on and off player. It's like, I don't know whether he's on or not right now. Even though he scored 5 goals in 2 games against the same team, Crystal Palace, I don't know what he's going to do today. It's difficult to say who Arsenal's best player is. I could go for a defender and just say Gabriel. I mean, he's probably the biggest threat, especially from corners. I'm gonna say Gabriel. I'm gonna say Gabriel from corners because of how dangerous he actually is and how dangerous Arsenal are from corners. I might have to say, Gabriel is the key, my player to watch anyway. He's my player to watch today for Arsenal. Going on to the Liverpool game, they are playing Spurs. I mean, it is the most lopsided game you could probably think of. Liverpool, they did just draw against United, but I don't think Tottenham have what United have. I know they're above us, but they don't have that inner, that inner passion to just go out and win these kind of games. I don't see Spurs doing that. And to be fair, they are better than United. Spurs are, they've got a better striker than us. They've probably got better wingers than us. Defensively, they're Defensively, no. Defensively, they're all over the place. I think the last game I saw Jed Spence and Archie Gray playing centre back. Like, yeah, they are all over the place a little bit. Let's be honest. And then you look at Liverpool. Yes, they did drop points against United, but that's just because it's United. I'm sorry to say, it's because it's United. Like, we sometimes just go out there and we just play like we're the best team like in the world. Like, so for every now and then you're gonna get a United performance like that. It's usually in a derby, either against Liverpool or City, but somehow we just randomly go out and let's just have great games. Liverpool are gonna be back to their normal self next game, or tomorrow. They're gonna be completely back to themselves. Key man, obviously Mo Salah, 18 goals and 13 assists in the Premier League. Not in all competitions. In the Premier League, 18 goals and 13 assists. I could probably name a whole bunch of other players, key players for them. You still got Van Dijk and Konate. Solanke's going to have a difficult game against them too. Trent had a stinker. Let's be honest, he had a stinker against United, but it's still Trent. It's still Trent. I can put money on it. He's probably still going to be very effective in that game against Newcastle, especially going forward. Yes, going back, he has struggled a little bit. I mean, I don't really know who Spurs are going to play on the wings. If it's Werner, Son, obviously. Who else have they got? Kulusevski probably might play in the middle. I don't know. He could go out on the right. Brennan Johnson. Who else have they got on the wings? But regardless, Trent, he could have a difficult game. You look at that midfield. That's probably where I spoke about this a lot in different videos. That is where that's where everything comes together, because Gravenberch, McAllister, whether it's Szoboszlai or Curtis Jones, things are ticking in that midfield. It's so well balanced. McAllister has been an underrated hero for them this season. Gravenberch. You see Gravenberch on a half turn. I'm telling you this now. I don't think there's a better player on the half turn in the Premier League. I'm telling you now that I know it's such a random thing to say. Like, what do you mean on the half turn? Gravenberch on the half turn is smoking everyone. I've seen him do it against United, even though they didn't win the game. The ball gets fizzed into him. Boom, one touch and he's gone. One touch and he's already through. He's taking like 3 players out of the game. If that was another player, it'll take them about 2-3 touches to them just turn around. Gravenberch, boom, one touch, turn, gone. And yeah, he is lethal in that midfield this season especially. But like I said, McAllister also, Curtis Jones going a bit further forward as well. And Arne Slot, I mean, it's his first season. So for me, as a manager in your first season, you're kind of going to want to get what you can get. Yes, he'll probably say that he knew he was going to be able to do this for Liverpool, because every manager wants to act like they knew how good they were going to be. But let's be honest, in your first season as a manager, you kind of just going out there to figure it out. That's what Amarim's doing right now. A lot of other managers have done the same thing. But you're kind of just figuring it out. It's very rare that a new manager will come in and for the whole season, everything's just working, everything's ticking. That has happened with Slot, and I don't believe that it's a honeymoon period. I think this is genuinely how good Liverpool are with their players and with the manager as well. But as a manager, like I said, you're going to want to take what you are given. So I don't think he's going to give up on this tournament, on this cup, just because they've got bigger things to think about. If I'm Slot, I'm thinking I'm taking everything. I'm taking the Carabao Cup. I'm taking the Premier League. I'm taking the Champions League. Are they still in the FA Cup? They're probably still in the FA Cup. We're still pretty early on in that competition. So if I'm Slot, I'm thinking I'm taking a quadruple this year if I can. So they're not going to go easy on them. They're not going to go easy on Spurs. I'm pretty sure they're gonna play a pretty strong team. As much as I think Liverpool are going to win, I don't want them to win. I actually want Spurs to win, because I want to see that Ange, final, because he did say in his second year he's going to win a trophy, and this is the one trophy he kind of has the best chance to win. So they do have that on their side. You know what? I'm gonna be shameless. I don't like Liverpool, so I'm gonna say Liverpool are gonna lose. That's it. That's the only reason why I'm gonna say that, just because I don't like Liverpool, and I kind of do want to see if Ange will win a trophy. And I do think that Newcastle and Spurs, the most interesting final might be the North London derby, Arsenal and Spurs in the final. But I do want to see Newcastle Spurs, 2 teams that are desperate for a trophy, desperate. I think that'll be interesting. That's a good storyline anyway. It's a good storyline. Newcastle haven't won a trophy in a long time. Spurs haven't won a trophy in a long time. They desperately need, Ange desperately needs to win a trophy because of what he said. And yeah, Newcastle have also lost in a Carabao Cup final against United 2 years ago. So it's kind of like a bit of a redemption for them. I think that's a good storyline for a final. So that's what I want to see. I want to see Newcastle and Spurs in the final. However, let's be honest, Arsenal and Liverpool are still the two better teams. But anyway, that's my predictions for those two games. We'll see anyway tonight because I'm literally recording this on the same day as the Arsenal Newcastle game. So we will see tonight. I'm gonna watch the game. Like I said, let me know you want to see a match reaction, a instant game reaction after the Arsenal Newcastle game, and I'll do that for you. I might even be watching it with a couple of the guys, so you might see a couple familiar faces, if I do that. But yeah, let me know what you want to see, and also tomorrow we are back with another video, and then the next day we're back with another video, and the next day we're back with another video. So make sure you like, make sure you comment in, make sure you subscribing. I'm kind of rushing this video a little bit just because I've got to record another video and then I've got to edit some stuff. So I'm going to see you guys tomorrow.